Okay, let's talk about it. You're getting older. You're seeing younger artists blowing up overnight, going viral, getting signed, hitting milestones you thought you'd hit long ago. And so now you're wondering, did I miss my shot? Is it too late for me? Am I aging out of music completely? But what if I told you that your age is not a weakness, but actually your greatest superpower? What if everything that you have been through, everything that you've felt, that you've experienced, were the exact ingredients you needed all along? What if right now isn't an end, but actually a brand new beginning? In this video, we are going to discuss just that, why your age is not a weakness, but instead a superpower for growing community for your music, connecting with people, and using social media at its highest capacity. However, before we dive in, if you're here because you want real change and you want to build a clear strategy for growing your community, for your music, please click the link below titled Artist Consultation so that we can meet and explore how I can help you achieve that. This age conversation hits home for me because I almost quit music when I was about to turn 30, but I didn't, and I started an entirely new musical project. And in just 3 years, we have grown tens of thousands of followers on social media with millions of views across our social media content, millions of streams on our music on Spotify, and a highly engaged community of fans. And if I quit, I would not have experienced any of that. What helped me turn the corner and experience that growth was fully leaning into my story, owning my age and my experience, and using it to build my presence as an artist. So how can you achieve the same? Okay, so let's talk about where you're at right now to start. You're probably navigating this weird new phase with your music journey right now, where everything you believed up until now, especially throughout your early 20s, throughout your 20s, is starting to feel a bit different. Maybe back then pursuing music was a little bit about the fame of it all, going viral, getting signed, blowing up overnight. The hope of those things existing in your future, it felt a little exciting, and subconsciously, they influenced you. They kept you moving, these hopes, these dreams. You felt this sparkly hope at the end of the tunnel. Then something changed. You began realizing the tunnel was actually a lot longer and darker than you thought. And now you're starting to question literally everything. You are deconstructing what this dream used to mean to you, and you're reconfiguring your sense of self, your goals, and your direction. And at moments, you wonder, what is the point of all this? How can I keep giving so much of myself and getting so little back? And yet, there's still this part of you deep down, this persistent voice that says, keep going, keep creating. And so you're caught in this limbo of feeling a need to keep going, but feeling a deep sense of confusion and anxiety and regret and sadness for what hasn't been and what you're slowly accepting might never be, at least in the way that you once believed it would. That right there is the beginning of your superpower. Because the truth is, most people, they don't make it to this part. They don't make it this far. They fall off when the fame doesn't come quickly. They tap out when the vanity metrics don't add up quickly enough. But you're still here. You are breaking down so that you can break through. This is not the death of your music career. This is your rebirth. And rebirth doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel glamorous. It feels like complete doo-doo butter. But you need it because you are experiencing your hero's journey. Have you heard of the hero's journey before? Well, if you don't think you have, you actually very much have, because it is everywhere. It is riddled throughout the books that we read, the movies that we watch, and even the religions we practice and the mythologies we've studied. In the hero's journey, the hero is called to adventure. The hero must leave home and venture into the world, experience its trials, its tribulations, its dangers, its lessons, and the hero must grow from them. But there's this really pivotal moment in that hero's journey, which is exactly where you are right now. It's the death and the rebirth of the hero, when the hero must plunge into the underworld and experience death in order to release a past version of themselves that no longer serves them. And from there, they become reborn. Right now, that is you. You've been through it. The disappointments, the long stretches of uncertainty, the waves of hope followed by another dip in belief. You've been broken down to a point of an ego death where you must release who you were so that you can become who you're becoming. But despite that transformation, you're still here, feeling the pull to continue music, to continue performing, to continue pouring yourself into expression and creation, despite those trials, despite that turmoil. That process, that doesn't break you, it refines, it defines you. Because this is when artistry is born, when artistry elevates, when your most authentic voice starts to take form and shape, when your perspective as an artist starts to solidify. If you can radically accept where you're at right now, if you can release your grip, holding on to the past, the outdated visions that you had of the future, if you can lean into your story instead of trying to outrun it, and if you can start alchemizing all of those experiences into music, into messaging, into meaning, that's when you become the highest version of your most artistic self right now. Not 5 years ago, not 10 years ago, but right now in this moment, because artistry is perspective. It's your lived experience filtered through your creative lens. And the more you've lived, the more you've felt, the more you've lost, the more you have to say in your art. So all of this, it's not a reason to feel behind. It's a reason to feel like you finally arrived. Right now is the moment you become the artist you were always meant to be. If this is resonating with you so far, then let's take a powerful step forward together, shall we? Comment your age in the comments and share a bit about your story in music so far. It might feel really vulnerable, but owning it is truly the first step into alchemizing and transforming. Okay, so what does all of this mean for you moving forward? In your actions, in your music, in your marketing? The truth is, when you finally stop running from your story and you start creating with it, you're not just becoming a more realized artist, you're becoming a more valuable one to others, to your fans, to your future fans. The world right now is saturated with content, with noise, with artists trying to be seen by doing what they think they should be doing, fighting to stand out, clamoring to hop on the next trend. But you wanna know what actually cuts through all of that noise? Perspective. That clarity you've earned from your story, that's what makes your music magnetic. That's what makes your content magnetic, because you're fully tapped into who you are so you can stand out. Consumers aren't just hungry for good music, they're hungry for something they connect with on a deeper level, something they can sink their teeth into. A feeling, a voice that says, I see you, I know what you're feeling, and I have felt it too. Your lived experience, everything that you have been through, is what allows you to build bridges like that to connect with your fans. And when you lean into that story and perspective when creating content, and when you pursue capturing those nuanced feelings in your music, you don't just get passive listeners, you get believers. You get people who feel your music, who see themselves in your story. And those people stick around because you gave them more than a song. You gave them meaning. And from a metric algorithmic growth perspective, meaning is what creates momentum. When you build content and music from this level of clarity, it becomes a frequency that the right people recognize instantly when they see your content, and they engage with that content and that music. They share it. They stay for the next release. They stick around. That is how you grow a real community. That is how you build resonance that actually scales. That is a superpower you can only have right now at this point of your journey. So lean into it. And if we want to get deep, come here. Let's be honest. You didn't choose this path just to get streams. You didn't choose music just to chase validation and accumulate numbers and metrics. You chose this path because you wanted freedom. Freedom to be who you are, freedom to express what is inside of you, freedom to live a life in alignment with your creativity on your terms. But if you spend your life hiding from the world, embarrassed of your story, ashamed of your age, shrinking yourself down because you think it's too late, then you're actively cutting yourself off from the freedom that you came here to find in the first place. Because real freedom isn't about escaping reality, it's about being in relationship with it, being a co-creator of your life. When you start honoring your lived experience, when you start treating your rebirth as sacred instead of shameful, that's when things truly begin to shift. That's when you start vibrating at a frequency that actually calls in the people who need you. That's when your music becomes more than content, it becomes a transmission. And from that place, you don't simply feel free, you are free. And you start building a life and a career that reflects that freedom right back at you. Now, although I never think it's too late to pursue your dreams and find success in music, I do realize that the older we get, the more responsibilities we have, and balancing everything with marketing our music can be a lot. That is exactly why I developed my artist coaching program, so that I can hand artists just like you the tools and the strategies to accelerate your growth now and balance it all. Click the link in the description below titled Artist Consultation so that you and I can meet and we can explore how I can help you achieve that. And if you have found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel, as I upload videos every single week that help you come into alignment with your artistry and develop sustainable strategies to reach the right community for your music. Turn on your bell notifications as well so that you never miss an upload. And if you found anything helpful in this video, or if you have any specific questions that I might be able to help with, please comment them below. Remember, you got this. Your artistry is a beacon for real people who need it. And every strategy, every tactic, and every algorithm is simply a tool to help you build it. So let's start a build-in, shall we? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.